morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, young scholars. How are you? I want to welcome everybody back to another edition of the Young Scholars Academy Saturday reading program. We're coming in on 6 years in partnership with the Boys and Girls Club Family Center over on Acorn Street. Can't wait to actually get back into the building and start cooking breakfast. But this program is geared for student empowerment, student enrichment, student learning, and we use Black history as a foundation for that learning and that springboard. So, welcome everybody. Good morning, scholars. Daryl, you said you had a video you wanted to play?
Yes.
Good morning,
Good morning.
Good morning.
the viewers.
We have one of our. What is Miran doing?
Moran's being Moran.
So Miran is petting the viewers. Yeah.
This past week, one of our young scholars was honored down in New York,
Oh,
and her mom sent me a video that almost had me shook up, big lump in the throat. You know, I'm macho, so I couldn't say I was about to tear up. But I watched,
just blink fast.
huh?
Just blink fast when that happens.
I couldn't have been more proud of her. So what I want to do is share this video with everybody on the team and with our viewers. Ayana, is that okay?
Yes, it is.
All right. So after we show the video, I want you to talk a little bit about it. All right.
Okay.
Here we go.
This little girl stole my heart away. She don't even know that. That's why do you think I be chatting with you all the time? Because she stole my heart away a few years ago. I met her through Councilmember King, the former council member, at the Bronx Youth Empowerment Program. I think he was speaking. She's a speaker. She looked, come on over here. She acting like she's shy, but she ain't shy. Right, Mama? She ain't shy, right, Dad? Mm-hmm. Yup, see, parents told them. So she is a beautiful soul. Ayana is if you've never seen her on Channel 12 News or haven't seen her on a mic advocating or expressing herself or just standing up for what's right, this young woman right here is going to be the first woman Black president. All right, come on, clap for her. That is her vision. Yes, and I speak that into her life. I remember she was a part of one of my mental groups too. And she was like, I'll be the first Black woman president. I was like, oh my, yes, we have to encourage our young Black girls, right? We have to encourage them that the sky is the limit. She can do anything that she puts her mind to. So I'm so honored to present this award to you, Miss Ayana Shepherd. I just want to encourage you as a young Black woman, continue going forward. Continue being fearless, continue being confident and relentless. All right, don't let nobody tell you to calm down. Because you know that's what I tell our young Black girls. Don't let nobody tell you to calm down. Keep moving forward, okay? And I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of you for being an example to a lot of young Black women that's looking up to you. Continue being that example and that role model. I love you. I'm Dad. Come up here. We got adopted my own. Please come, my love. She's gonna say a speech and then we're gonna take a picture.
Oh man, I thought I had the video with the speech on it. Oh, did she freeze up?
It didn't freeze for me.
I thought I had the video with the speech on it.
I heard what speech, like the one about the Black president woman, because I heard that.
No, her speech.
No, Ayana had a speech that was just awesome. So Ayana, you want to talk to everybody about what we just watched?
Take your mute off.
Oh, hi.
Good morning.
So the speech that I said was something like this. I was like, hi, good evening, everyone. Sorry, my mom's phone. But I was like, hi, good evening, everyone. A few years ago, I met Assemblywoman Natalia Fernandez at an educational town hall with my dad. And after complimenting her on her curls, I told her that I'd give out free speeches. So to keep my promise, here it goes. Hi, my name is Ayana. I am a 12-year-old student and the Public Relations Director at the Bronx Youth Empowerment Program, where I work with a group of kids like me to build mind, body, and community here in the Bronx. And I am the first Black African American. I messed up. I am the first African American female president. I would like to thank you for honoring me tonight. And being a girl who wants to grow up to be the president, I know that I follow in the footsteps of giants. Women of excellence like Rosa Parks, Shirley Chisholm, Michelle Obama, and Kamala Harris. I also follow in the footsteps of my mother, and also my mentor, Ms. Neva Shillingford King, and all of you. And then I just kind of close it out.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What did you feel, when you were up there being honored like that? I mean, I knew you had a heads up, but like with all those people watching you there to honor you, like what kind of feeling did that kind of like fall upon you?
I was very excited.
I can tell you had a lot of nervous energy when you were standing up there. You couldn't stand still. You should be very, very, very proud of what you're doing and what you're accomplishing. And know how I'll use the term doing and accomplishing, because that means you're going to continue to do and continue to accomplish.
That was just a big front. When she did the speech, she was on it.
Go ahead, boss. Say it. The truth will come out.
It sure will.
But that's an amazing, 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 amazing acknowledgement.
Thank you.
We expect to see more to come. And we expect you to be an inspiration for our other young scholars on this call and all around the country. It's sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. You hear that, young scholars? Nice.
I see Ayana for president. I see Miran for vice president. Oh yeah. I see Daniel holding up. Yo, who is the big guy? Getting in the way of the camera.
He could be the boss of the Secret Service.
Good morning, Miss Ardera.
Great rising. How's everyone doing?
Awesome, man. Doing awesome.
It's good to see you all this rising.
Ayana was just recognized down in the Bronx.
I can hear you, but your volume's low.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very quiet. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
That's best.
Very best.
Ayana was just recognized by the city of New York for all of her work and efforts and all the phenomenal things that she's done down there. She was recognized, I believe, by one of the city councilors. And she gave a speech, which was phenomenal. And she just shared that with us. And this is really dope. I'm just so proud of her.
Amazing. Congratulations. Huge, huge, huge congratulations.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Oh, such a bright young lady. Yes. Lovely.
All right. And with that being said, congratulations, Ayana. Let's get down to some reading. Who would like to go first? We have 3 readers today, and I don't know if Rob has a book or if Miss Audie has a book.
I do.
You do? You want to set it off for us?
Sure.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
Check that book, girl.
So this is from Let It Shine, Stories of Black Women Freedom Fighters. And I'm reading about Biddy Mason. Biddy Mason was born in Hancock County, Mississippi, August 15th, 1818. She passed away in Los Angeles, California, January 15th, 1891. And there's a quote that says, "If you hold your hand closed, nothing good can come in. If the open hand is blessed, for it gives in abundance, and even as it receives." That's a nice quote. You guys know what abundance means? No?
Abundance.
Anyone?
When I think of the word abundance, I think in terms of like Reese's peanut butter cups or Kit Kats. I want
Ooh.
them in abundance.
Ooh. Miran, yeah, go ahead.
A lot.
Mm.
Well, I
Yeah,
think
it's like,
should be thinking of avenue or abandoned.
oh, abandon. Uh-huh. Abundance. Yeah, it's like yeah, a large quantity. It's also like being grateful for that quantity also, you know, pouring into that quantity so you get more back of it. So they're saying like if you hold your hand closed, nothing good can come in. The open hand is blessed, for it gives in abundance even as it receives. So it's really nice. Okay. So there aren't many books written about Biddy Mason, but her achievements speak volumes about the drive and determination of women. If Biddy were alive today, we'd call her a mover and shaker, a history maker, one high-powered lady. Biddy was born into slavery with a rich mix of blood running through her veins. She was Black and Native American, and her Native American ancestors came from 3 different Indian tribes: the Choctaw, Seminole, and I want to say Jigi. As a slave child, Biddy was bought and sold several times, and she was moved from one plantation to another and had more masters than most slave children. Master Banks of Georgia, Master Crosby of Mississippi, and finally Master John Smithson of South Carolina. Biddy settled with the Smithson family, with whom she spent most of her childhood. As a slave, she was forbidden to read, so Biddy gathered her smarts by doing. And oh, did Biddy do. At the Smithson house, it was Biddy's job to work along the house servants and the midwives. She baked bread, swept floors, polished silver, and helped birth babies. Ooh, there's some information in the chat, you guys. Also, Biddy became skilled at many types of household work, but in the eyes of John Smithson, she was little more than a piece of property, like a tea kettle or an embroidery sampler. In 1836, when Biddy was 18 and had blossomed into a full-grown woman, John Smithson gave her and her 2 friends, Hannah and Ella, away as wedding gifts to his cousin Rebecca and Robert Marion Smith, Rebecca's new husband. That's when Biddy promised herself that she would someday do something to stop the injustice of slavery. Biddy, Hannah, and Ella served as Rebecca's house slaves, but it was Biddy's job to care for Rebecca, who became sickly shortly after she and Robert married. Soon Biddy had her own family to take care of as well. Robert Smith was the father of her 3 daughters, Ellen, born 1838, Anne, born 1844, and Harriet, born 4 years later. Sometime around Anne's birth, Robert Smith became a member of the Church of Jesus Christ and Latter-day Saints, the Mormons. He decided to move his family to Utah, where a large group of Mormons had settled. In 1848, Robert Smith packed everything he owned, slaves, children, cattle, bed sheets, and frying pans, and set out on a long, slow journey to the west. The caravan included 58 white people, 34 slaves, 2 yoke of oxen, 7 milking cows, a slew of mules, and a whole lot of horses. The trail was hot, dusty rope. The trail was a hot, dusty road that snaked its way through the prairie. On the trail, Biddy did what she knew best. She tended to folks by cooking, caring for children, her own and other people's, and delivering babies whenever an expectant mother said the time had come. Biddy seldom had the privilege of riding on one of the wagons. She walked at the end of the line where the trail grit was thickest. Robert Smith stayed in Utah for 3 years. Then in 1851, Brigham Young, the Mormon prophet, called for volunteers to establish a Mormon settlement in Southern California. So Smith set his wagon train on the trail to San Bernardino, California, seeking a new life in a state in the state folks called Gold Country. The trip to California was another arduous trek that allowed Biddy little time to rest. Since she left out the South, Biddy had walked nearly 2,000 miles. Well, it was a long walk. 2,000 miles, but on this journey, Biddy Mason had a plan that kept her weary feet going. Biddy had learned that California was a free state where slavery did not exist. Once she set foot on Gold Country soil, she and her children could be as free as the wildflowers that covered the land. Biddy planned to live in California as a free woman. She didn't speak about her plan, of course. Biddy made the trip to California obediently, never once letting on that she had her sights set on freedom. When Biddy arrived in California, it was golden indeed. She encountered all kinds of free black men, people, and women who were bankers, nurses, barbers, state legislators, mail carriers, ranch hands, and even cowboys. She met members of the black community in Los Angeles, and some of them became her friends. Biddy asked them how they got free. Many had been born into freedom. Others had escaped slavery. But running off wasn't Biddy's way of doing things. She was going to earn her freedom. Robert Smith had his own plan, though. Biddy and her daughters were his valuable property. They were an asset worth a hefty chunk of cash, money that could help him with his new life in California. He decided to take his slaves back to slave country and sell them at a profit. In December 1855, Smith told Biddy that her traveling days were far from over. He told her she had more walking to do, that she and her family were going to follow him to Texas, a slave state, where he would cash them in. But while Smith had been mapping out his plan, Biddy had been taking action on hers. She looked Robert Smith in the eye and refused flat out. Biddy had become acquainted with Lizzie Flake, Rowan, and two free black men, Charles Owens and Manuel Pepper. Lizzie, Charles, and Manuel were well versed in California state laws. They presented a petition to Judge Benjamin Hayes, asking that Biddy and her daughters be allowed to remain in California as free people. Judge Hayes accepted the petition right away. He prepared legal papers that spelled out freedom for Biddy, Biddy's children, and 13 other Smith slaves. This was the ticket Biddy needed to be free forever. This was how she earned her freedom. With the help of Charles Owens and Manuel Pepper, Biddy presented Robert Smith with an order requiring him to appear before a judge in the Federal District Court of Los Angeles. These legal papers made it clear to Smith that Biddy Mason and all of his slaves were now residents of California, and as such, they were free men and women. When the court day came, Smith never showed up. The judge conducted 2 days of hearings, during which Biddy confirmed that Smith had indeed been her master for most of her life. On January 25, 1856, the judge declared Biddy and the other Smith slaves free. Soon after Biddy had won her court case, her daughter Ellen married Charles Owens in Los Angeles. Together, Biddy and Charles worked to improve conditions for black residents of the city and the surrounding areas. Biddy found employment as a nurse and midwife with Dr. John S. Griffin. She grew on the skills she had gained as a plantation midwife and from the caretaking she had done while traveling west as part of Robert Smith's wagon train. Her patients ranged from wealthy Californians to those who didn't have a penny to their names. Biddy served anyone who needed her help. She delivered hundreds of babies. Sometimes she used root and herb potions as part of her nursing practices. She gained a reputation as an innovative healer, and people sought her out. For 10 years, Biddy saved whatever she could from the $2.50 she earned each day. In 1866, she had enough money to purchase a house on Spring Street in Los Angeles. Biddy was one of the first Black women of her time to buy a home of her own in the United States. The house cost $250. Wowie. I'm getting a little emotional reading this, you guys. Bear with me. This is amazing. As a homeowner, Biddy learned that real estate was a powerful commodity. By owning land, she could help out other Black people find affordable places to live. Housing that didn't discriminate on the basis of skin color. So Biddy continues to save her money. She bought several plots of land where she built homes to rent to Black families. Some believe that by late 1800s, Biddy Mason was the wealthiest African American woman in Los Angeles. Biddy was also rich in her generosity. She once said, "If you hold your hand closed, nothing good can come in. The open hand is blessed, for it gives in abundance, even as it receives." Biddy kept her hands wide open, always ready to give. When a homeless soul needed a place to live, Biddy graciously opened her home on Spring Street. When a neighborhood full of eager-to-learn children needed a place to build their school, Biddy donated one of her lots. The same was true for grocery stores, daycare centers, and churches. When someone was looking for a place to build, Biddy provided. In 1872, Biddy held an important meeting at her home. She called together a small group of men and women, including Charles Owens, who, like herself, wanted a place of worship in Los Angeles. With the help of Biddy's insightful guidance and understanding of the city's requirements for constructing new buildings, the group founded the Los Angeles First African Methodist Episcopal Church. Episcopal, thank you, Mr. Rob. Episcopal Church. Biddy Mason's legacy still thrives in Los Angeles. On March 27, 1988, a proud group of 3,000 citizens, which include Mayor Tom Bradley, the first African American to be elected mayor of the city, gathered to cheer the contributions Biddy Mason made to Los Angeles during her lifetime. They honored Biddy Mason by unveiling a beautiful tombstone to mark her gravesite. Today, Biddy Mason's memories stand as strong as the buildings that were built under her charge.
Yeah, she's Biddy Mason was an amazing woman, and one of the things they don't really talk about with her is she was arguably at the time the wealthiest person in Los Angeles, and she had she owned the most land and properties in Los Angeles, and she put Los Angeles on the map for Black folks, but she was arguably the wealthiest person in Los Angeles and the largest landowner. So that's why I typed in the chat for the young scholars, to look her up. Some of the stuff you get on Google or Wikipedia or whatever is just top level basic stuff. But that's a person who you might want to dig a little bit deeper and learn a little bit more about all the different accomplishments she's made and everything that she's done just in the state of California, in the city of Los Angeles. for Black residents there. Just listening to Miss Ardera read the story about being bought and sold, and that wasn't that long ago. Great job, Miss Audi. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that was.
Who's going to be up next?
I'll go next.
Okay, Ayana.
So, I'm not necessarily reading a book today. I'm more reading a poem.
Okay.
Okay, this is one of my favorite poems. The poem. All right.
Did you write it or?
No, this is an old poem. I'm sure some people probably know it, but this is one of my favorite poems. Hey, Black child, do you know who you are? Who you really are? Do you know you can be who you want to be if you try to be who you can be? Hey, Black child, do you know where you are going? Where you're really going? Do you know you can learn what you want to learn if you try to learn what you can learn? Hey, Black child, do you know you are strong? I mean really strong. Do you know that you could do what you want to do if you try to do what you can do? Hey, Black child, be what you can be, learn what you must learn, do what you can do, and tomorrow your nation will be what you want it to be.
I can guess why that's probably your favorite poem, but I'd want you to tell everybody why it's your favorite poem, but also how old were you when you first came across the poem? Did you understand the words immediately? Like, what kind of impact did it have on you?
My mom told me that I first heard the poem when I was like 3 years old in preschool, but I don't remember it from then. I remember it from when I was like 7-ish, and and someone read it for Black History Month at my school. In the beginning, I didn't quite know what the words meant, and then towards the end of the poem, I kind of realized what the words meant. But I love the poem because, I don't know, I just do.
Well, I mean, it's very inspirational, and it's true. Despite all the obstacles we face, I mean, when you look at Biddy Mason, all the obstacles she faced, and she not only came up on top, triumphant, but also looked out for her community.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a great poem. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
So who wrote the poem? Who's the author?
County Cullen. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Yep, you said it right. County Cullum.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, good job. All right. So who we got next? Good job. Good job. Good job.
I think Daniel should go next.
Daniel, let's get it.
Okay, so the book I'm going to be reading is called Clubhouse Mysteries. Okay.
Can we see the cover of the book? Can you show it to everybody? Nice.
School was over, and the summer morning stretched ahead like a soft, sweet piece of bubblegum. It was still early for a boy who had just finished 5th grade and promised himself he would sleep until noon every day of summer vacation. But the day was warm, and no matter how many times he tried to ignore it, the sunshine had called him early to get up. Rico Johnson grabbed his basketball and headed down to the street to Ziggy's house. Rico liked to go to Ziggy's house because it was so different from his own. Rico lived with his mom, who drove a dull brown car and worked in an office building downtown, where she wore sensible flat shoes and wrote careful letters to people in other offices. She went bowling with her friends every Friday night and took Rico to piano lessons every Saturday afternoon. She was the kind of mom who didn't think dinner was complete unless a green vegetable was served. Basically boring, thought Rico. But Ziggy's house, now that was another story. It was huge, brightly painted and cheerful. Ziggy's mom sometimes planted flowers and eh, sometimes planted flowers and sometimes vegetables in the front yard. So there was an odd assortment of tomato plants, roses, corn, and lilies growing together. The grass was cut whenever someone thought about it. One summer, it had even been kept short by Ziggy's uncle Raphael's pet goat. Trimmed or not, it always looked soft and inviting. It was a perfect place to stop and rest on a hot day. Ziggy's doorbell didn't work, so Rico knocked on the screen door. Raphael came to the door to look, looking sleepy and confused. His hair, long and braided, hung over his eyes. "So, little Mon, you came to see Ziggy?" Rico grinned and nodded. "Him still sleep. Go get his lazy bones up, Mon." Raphael let Rico go and headed back to bed to finish his morning nap. Three more uncles and a cousin were staying with Ziggy's family, but the house still felt large and roomy. Ziggy's mom came from home. Ziggy's mom came from a family of 14 in Jamaica, so she kept her door open to any relative who needed a place to stay. Rico had spent the night at Ziggy's many times, so he knew exactly where he was headed. He ran up the stairs, turned left, and opened the bathroom door. There in the bathtub, wrapped in any army sleeping bag, lay Ziggy. He was wide awake. "I've been waiting for you, Mon," said Ziggy with a grin. "What's up?" "Not you, man. Why are you still sleeping in the tub? You got a perfectly good bed right across the hall." "Oh, Rico, Mon. A soft bed is for sissies. I'm practicing for when I become a spy for the FBI. Spies gotta be tough, you know. Besides, when I gotta get up and go to the bathroom at night, I'm already there." Rico laughed and helped Ziggy out of the tub. Ziggy got dressed, brushed his teeth, grabbed his back on the large black
Hey
yellow and
Daniel,
green hat.
Daniel, your signal is choppy. You got all your bars?
Yeah.
All right, okay. Maybe it was just something on our end. Go ahead. Sorry.
Ziggy got dressed, brushed his teeth, grabbed his basketball, put on a large black, yellow, and green hat, and tucked his way inside. Then he and Rico went downstairs. Huh?
One second, Daniel. It's starting to do it again? Is that happening for you guys as well?
Yeah. You started off good, but then it's starting to get choppy. So why don't you stop there, and then we'll resume next week.
Okay.
But one of the things that I wanted to say is when you read the title of the book, it brought me back to when I was a kid, probably your age, reading the Hardy Boys mystery and Nancy Drew mysteries. And
Nancy Drew ones.
you remember those? And it was good. And that's why I wanted you to hold the cover up. So
Can you
it's
hold
good.
it up again, Daniel? Yeah.
It's good to see these stories narrated and illustrated by Black authors, because when I was coming up, they weren't really given the opportunity. We have plenty of Black authors out there, but they didn't have a lot of major book deals. They didn't have a lot of major TV shows. So when you said that, it was just like brought me back into the time machine. And I was like, oh shoot, mysteries.
I gotta write this one, type this one in my notes.
Is that a new book, Daniel? Did you just recently get that?
Yep.
Nice. And it's a series?
I don't know. Might be. Let's check. Yeah, there is.
Cool.
Nice. Can't wait to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to hear the rest of that one.
All
But
right.
that just put a smile on my face. Good job, man. And anything you want? Was there anything that attracted you to that book? The title or
It was the title and the pictures of it.
Nice. Cool. All right, Miran, you ready?
Yes.
What are you reading today?
Continuing in Millville Unleashed.
Nice. Any green vegetables in there?
Probably not. I'm gonna start the last two lines before I start reading the next page because it's good to get a recap on a story. I usually do it.
Perfect.
So, who could that be? Wheezed Amelia Bedelia's mother. It's dinner time. Amelia Bedelia, said her dad. Would you answer the door? What was the question? Said Amelia Bedelia. Her dad shook her head. The question is, who is at the door? Just see who it is and tell them it's dinner time. Okay, said Amelia Bedelia. Would you like me to invite whoever it is in for supper? No, said her mom and dad together. Amelia Bedelia headed for the front door. On her way, she heard her father whisper, "Phew, saved by the bell." How could a bell save someone? Amelia Bedelia wondered. Through whispering the way she did in class when she tried to pass urgent news to her friends where Mrs. Finley turned around and caught them talking. Now Amelia Bedelia knew how Mrs. Finley felt. She felt like a teacher catching a couple of whispers. Bing bong, bing bong bong. Amelia Bedelia's parents looked up. Here's a picture. Bang bong. And realized that she had been watching them. Amelia Bedelia pointed out at them and said, "You've been saved twice." Then she continued on her way to the front door. When she got there and peeked out the window, Amelia Bedelia saw a woman pacing back and forth on the front door porch. Amelia Bedelia opened the front door. The woman peered at Amelia Bedelia through the screen door and urgently asked, "Have you seen my baby?" A furry compress. "My baby has disappeared," Lily said. "When?" said Amelia. "Just a few minutes ago," she said. "I had just given him a bath, clipped his nails, and brushed him. I turned around to get his dinner, and when I turned back, he was gone." "This is serious," said Amelia Bedelia. "Come in. You can use our phone to call the police." "Ha!" said the woman. "They are no help. The last time they said it, they told me to put my baby on a leash. Outrageous." Amelia Bedelia couldn't believe her ears. "That's terrible," the woman nodded. "I'm glad you agree with me." "How can I help?" said Amelia Bedelia. "Keep your eyes peeled for my baby," said the woman. "Ouch," said Amelia Bedelia. That sounded much too painful. She didn't think she could do it, even for a lost baby. She was about to say so when the woman took a stack of papers out of her handbag. "This is my baby," she declared. "Isn't he adorable?" Amelia Bedelia couldn't help herself. Her mouth opened, her eyes popped out. She hoped that she didn't appear as stunned as she felt. "Yips," she thought. "Either that's the ugliest baby I've ever seen, or it's the cutest dog in the world." "Well," the woman said, "don't you think he's adorable?" So we don't know if it's a baby or dog. Totally a baby, yeah. You want to act like it's a baby.
Yeah, it looks like a fox.
It's a puppy. Amelia Bedelia had learned that whenever she didn't know what to say, the best thing to do was to ask a question. What's his name? Asked Amelia Bedelia. His name is Baby, of course. I took one look at him in the animal shelter and said to myself, "That's my baby." Oh, said Amelia Bedelia. My name is Gladys, said the woman. Please call this number if you see him. My name is Amelia Bedelia, said Amelia Bedelia, and I will. Amelia Bedelia closed the door, went back to the dining room. Who was it, sweetie? Asked her mother. Amelia Bedelia told her parents the story and showed them the picture of Baby. You know, said Amelia Bedelia's father, leaning back in his chair, having a dog is a lot like having a baby. Amelia Bedelia and her mom looked at each other, and then back at him, and then back at each other. They both burst out laughing. I can burst out laughing. He ignored them and kept right on talking. A dog is a huge responsibility, he said. You have to love it, feed it, take care of it, and play with it, just like you would a baby. But a baby sleeps in a crib, said Amelia Bedelia. It has toys and pacifiers and teddy bear. A dog sleeps in a cozy bed, said her dad. Has toys, things to chew on, balls to chase. Babies cry in the middle of the night. You have to feed them, walk them, pat them, and sing them lullabies. You have to walk a dog, said her dad. They love doggy treats and getting scratched behind the ears. They need shots from rabies, and other things. Amelia Bedelia's mother had enough. Sorry, honey, she said. I hate to disappoint you, but we are not getting a dog. But why? Then she folded her arms tightly across her chest. That always meant no. Absolutely no, absolutely not. No way. Forget it. Why? I am putting my foot down, she added. Amelia Bedelia peeked under the table. Both her mom's feet were on the floor. I'm going to stop at page 25, but I'm not there yet. Why not get a dog? Asked her dad. Yeah, why not? Asked Amelia Bedelia. Because, said her mom, if we get a dog, I am the one who had to end up taking care of it. No, you wouldn't, said Amelia Bedelia. I'll do all the work, I promise. It will be good practice for me before I become a big sister. Bang, bang! Went the door. This time, Amelia Bedelia's mother went to the door. It was Gladys again. Now she was holding a whirly ball of fur with sparkling eyes. Gladys showed Baby to Amelia Bedelia's mom, who scratched Baby behind the ears as they chatted. Bong, 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 bong. Adult stuff. That's all they said. That's how I'm sorry.
Nice.
Moran, great job. I loved your animation and your reading. Each character had their own kind of personality. That's great. That's a great job. I loved it. It kept me captivated on my, listening intently.
I love the way you switched your voice for each character.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. So that Miran is those are examples of animation. So it's like you're very just like fun with it, like comfortable and just able to kind of put like a voice with different characters. Super, super cool. Yeah, that was cool. Yes. Dogs, huh?
Have you seen my puppy?
Dogs are a lot of responsibility.
Puppy.
Amazing job. Anyone want to say anything? Have anything to say? Mr. Rob, do you have anything to read this rising? No. I took care of that. I'm going to do some more research on Biddy Mason.
Daniel, you're muted.
What was,
You okay?
what'd you say, Miran?
Oh, that was me because Daniel was. It looked like he was talking, but he's muted.
Oh. Daniel, were you saying something?
No, I wasn't. I was not.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, Miran.
I forgot to show you the picture of page 25 and 24.
Let's see it.
As you can see, both of her legs are actually under the table, and as you can see, bing bong! Okay, no, she's not a door. She's the old woman named
Nice. Awesome. You all are amazing.
Yeah.
I appreciate you all for sharing space and sharing your stories.
Yep. And keep up the good work, Ayana and everybody else. Keep getting that recognition. Keep striving. You never know who's watching you. And I'm not just saying adults, people in your peer group.
Yeah.
You can be inspirational and motivational for a lot of people that you don't even realize that you're having such a great impact on. So keep up the good work, everybody. Mr. Marsh, you have anything to say in closing?
No, except great job, everyone. I was watching offline. I had camera difficulties. You guys were phenomenal as usual. Ayana, congratulations. I am so proud of you. Keep up the good work. Daniel, Miran, you guys are phenomenal. I'm proud of you guys as well. And for all of our viewers, we'll be back next Saturday. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Peace. Thank you.